I don't know, the guy in the hat, I don't know, maybe he might surprise us. On they're really stressing out. Oh, really?
What are you at now? Last I saw was like 1.3K. What are you at? Oh, for what? No. Well, I know, but how many likes do you have? Yeah, it's almost 12. 12K? Your engagement rating, bro. Dude, I have 100%. I got like 7 followers. Yeah, so what can I say? That's what I do best. All right, hey, we'll get started here in just a second. Hey, just remember, because post game, we're gonna try to keep it at 1. We'll try to come back if we can. So. All right, we'll start with a quick statement from Coach, then we'll jump into questions.
Well, I was excited. One thing that we did is we did exactly what we wanted to do coming into this game. Our expectations that we were going to play really well early, and we were going to be able to get Will in the game, Mitch in the game, and our plan was to run the offense. In this day and age, when it is a constant evaluation of the roster, then you have to do that. You've got to understand what you have, not only right now, but what you have a few weeks from now to months from now. So I was proud of the guys. I was proud of the way we ran the football. I thought we executed the ball, executed really well. I thought our, tempo-wise, it was a point that Will Jados and Howard Sampson at halftime said, "Hey, that tempo is for real, Coach." We're sitting there and we're pancaking somebody and bearing our wheels, yelling gas, gas, gas to get the next play going. And so I was proud of that. Defensively, thought we pressured the quarterback. I will tell you, if those defensive tackles will stay in their lanes, which they did, but if they'll stay in their lanes, they're going to have an opportunity to hit the quarterback a lot, because those two edge guys between Mello and David Bailey, they put a lot of pressure on the quarterback and having to step up. So I'm anxious to see the stats whenever it's all said and done. Hopefully Dowdy gets them right. He didn't have them right at halftime, so I kind of own him a little bit. But overall, it was good. Just to tell you, we feel good about where Barron is. Nothing is broken. Feel like it's all muscle as far as like hyperextension of his knee, and the pain kind of ran down the outside of that calf and shin area. But the docs feel good about it. And so if they feel good about it, I feel good about it. Glad he's okay. With that, questions?
Coach, what are some of the things that you feel like you need to work on for next week?
Well, we have two, we feel like, and it was exciting to see, we have two really good returners in Micah Hudson and Tristan Gentry, and we have lazy people at the point of attack that we get two holding calls off of two huge returns. So we've got to fix that. I know Kenny's going to really upset with that. We dropped interception. I thought Pilot did a great job with a block punt. We felt like we had that with their two-man shield, and he came free, had a great block. It probably should have been a scoop and score. We kind of panicked there. But I think we had one pre-snap penalty on offense. We had a couple pre-snap penalties we were in the neutral zone on defense. The frustrating thing really to me was the two big holding penalties on kickoff return. That's a weapon, and when you have that, it's just lazy. Bad feet, bad eyes. You panic and you grab a hold of somebody.
Go Brandon in the middle. Go ahead.
Oh, me? Oh, okay.
Joey, I guess aside from the North Texas game last year, you didn't really get a chance in the non-con to get some of those younger guys in, and then like tonight you've got, especially like in the first half, some of those redshirt freshmen kind of rotating in with the ones. I guess how excited were you about getting the chance to get some of those guys some reps, especially early on?
Yeah, I think if you go back, even probably maybe up to the third series, you probably had some guys that were in there. Our plan was to get the young guys in, but like, for example, if we're going to get Micah in, make sure it's with Coy and CD. If we're going to get TJ West in, make sure it's with Reggie Virgil, and Coy, like some of those young guys. Like same way, like if we're going to get Malik in at the strong safety, make sure he's in with BJ. That was our plan from the start, so we could play a lot of those young guys. We have some young talented guys that we need to get some reps and bank some reps, because it's going to pay off at the end of the year whenever we're, you're playing some really physical games and you're banged up. Now you've got guys that have game experience.
Go Tide and Ryan.
12 personnel was talked a lot about in the preseason, but it kind of seemed like you guys had the most success with your tight ends in the vertical game when just one of them was on the field. I guess could you talk me through your assessment of that and how you feel that will balance out throughout the year, if you'll stick with the 11 for the vertical attack or if you'll go back to 12 at all?
No, I think, we were kind of mixing it up. But I do think the one thing you're going to see a lot more with Mac's offense, we kind of talked about it a little bit, we were in more spread formations, running the football in spread formations, still in 11 personnel. We'll get in 12 personnel spread formations, but times that he really spread it out and was able to run the football with Cam and with Jacoby, and then there at the end with Adam. But it kind of was the game, it just kind of dictated that this is what they were giving us, and he felt good in 11 personnel, so we rolled with it.
To kind of piggyback off getting guys in, Leighton Stone catching his first career touchdown,
Yeah.
obviously a local boy. Just talk about what that means, and can we expect more of that going forward out of his role for this year?
Yeah, I'm hoping that the powers that be use a little common sense and get rid of the red shirt. You know, in college football, the only red shirts that should happen is medical red shirts. We should play 5 for 5. I promise the NCAA would get sued a lot less and lose a lot less lawsuits if they just went 5 for 5. You know, so in our mindset, we think that's going to happen at some point. So, you know, if those guys can help us win, you know, we're going to play them. Leighton and Bryson have had they had a great camp, you know, and at different times they were running with the 2s, you know, and like when Reggie was coming back and he was in the yellow jersey, you had Micah running with the 1s and you had Leighton running with the 2s. So we feel really comfortable. We feel really comfortable with those guys. But it was a big deal, man. It means a lot to me that Leighton chose Texas Tech. He was a highly recruited kid. It could have been easy not to come here because his dad and mom are here, and dad, you know, of course, is our soccer coach and a phenomenal coach. And it could have been easy to say, I want to get away. But this is his dream school, and I imagine that was one of those dream moments for him. And it definitely was for me because we've talked about it a lot. And I really felt, I told both those guys, you know, during pregame, I felt both of them were going to catch touchdowns, him and Bryson, so they made me right.
We get to see Mike Hill show up in the game. He's obviously had injury problems throughout his time here. How rough was that to see that in the first quarter?
Yeah, it you know, his foot got caught in the turf. They were running a screen at him, and, you know, he was trying to set the edge, and it just got caught. You know, that kid has, like you said, been banged up from his shoulder to hamstrings to, you know, now his knee, you know, and so it's never fun. I hate it whenever, I mean, both. Like, I'm getting text Thursday and Friday night that so-and-so's kid went out and so-and-so's kid went out and so-and-so. The guys that we're going to play, man, I don't want anybody to get hurt. I want whoever we're going to play, let's play them. It makes me sick when these kids get hurt because, man, they put a lot of work in. You know, it's a 24/7 job that these guys are doing now, and to get banged up like that. And I know how much he loves football and loves his teammates, so I hate it for him.
Coach, what were your thoughts on the crowd tonight at the beginning and then those that stuck around?
Well, first of all, whenever I walked into the stadium, and our people were awesome because I asked when we walked into the stadium to make sure Phil Collins was playing, and it was cranked up, so it made me feel good, gave me chill bumps. But when I walked in, I was shocked because, man, our student body was already, there was a large number already sitting in the seats, so I was so fired up. And, you know, now we have the largest freshman class, so the freshmen showed up. I hope we were entertaining, but it meant a lot. And I thought throughout the game, it was really loud. I was really excited for Skylar Gill-Howard. Ask him that question, you know, Will Jadis, like these guys that have not played in this type of environment at home. They've played on the road at times, but they haven't played in this environment at home at their other schools. And they were pretty fired up, and it fed us. We had a lot of energy to start the game. And then afterwards, I was glad everybody stayed. Man, it's a long time. I was proud of our guys. You know, we knew we were going to play a lot of young guys coming out of half, and I said, man, the standard's the standard. You know, when you step between the white lines, there's one way to play, and I thought there was a lot of guys that did some good things.
Coach, talk about your defensive front, especially on those first couple of drives.
Yeah.
A lot of people have a lot to say about our transfer class coming into this year, and I think they showed up today.
Yeah, man, those guys are different. Whenever you have, especially those four that started the game with David Bailey and Romello Height and Lee Hunter and Skylar Gill-Howard, I mean, they're grown men. They're so explosive. They're so physical. And I think, you know, they really controlled the line of scrimmage and really, you know, there was a lot of times of just the quarterback had no time to throw the football. Especially early in the game. I mean, he was getting hit almost every play. And, you know, we dropped a couple interceptions. BJ almost had one. Jacob, I know it hit him in the hands. He almost had one. Cole almost had one. We've got to catch those. But it's going to come out because those guys are going to get some pressure. They're really good.
We'll finish with Don.
Joey, when y'all were in the middle of the weather delay at halftime, how was it decided to play the 2 8-minute quarters? What consultation is there?
Yeah, so the biggest thing of how, like, we were worried that we were going to get delayed, come out, get delayed, come out, when, you know, they were going to get out. The game literally could have been called at halftime. You know, it was official once you get to halftime. I was worried if we were going to get to halftime, so we could have. And so when we were talking, we were like, we don't want to play this game till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning if we keep getting delayed. So let's try to get it in. You know, and either way, if they would have gone longer, our plan was to do what we did. I mean, we weren't going to just come out and run the football. We were going to let our guys, you know, throw the ball. Now, Will Hammond got loose on that one and showed his speed, and that was pretty impressive. You know, but it was just decided to make sure we could get it all the way in. It's the first time I've been a part of 8-minute quarter since 1994, coaching junior high football.
So who actually suggested that?
No, it was a mixture.
Suggested?
It was me, the officials, Kirby, their Coach Hampton, and their AD. We all had to agree on it.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank y'all very much.
Aaron Gill Howard and Terrence Carter will come in.
Y'all make sure Bryce Ramirez gets that sack. Dowdy.
This is nice. I ain't never seen nothing like that. I ain't even gonna pay. Where? Oh. I have the greatest QB in the world.
Gentlemen, what was it like playing in the Jones today?
The atmosphere was just absolutely amazing. To have a home game sell out, I've never had that before in my career. I've experienced crowds like that, but never for a home game. So for just the fans to come out and support us, it just means a lot.
I can say I definitely loved it. I ain't never been in no sold out crowd. Most people I probably played in front of was like 21,000. So just seeing the atmosphere and like how many people came out to support, like that really showed a lot and how much they cared about Lubbock. So
What worked for you guys today, and what do you still need to improve on?
really just all the basics still. Like it's just the beginning. I can say for me, really, I'm just working on all aspects of my game. There's really no exact thing I'm working on. I'm really working on everything, so that's it for me.
As a defense, I feel like we're really efficient on third down, keeping them off schedule. But obviously there's some things we got to clean up, whether it don't matter who's in there. But I'd say we're pretty efficient getting them off schedule, getting off on third down. We're pretty efficient at that. And I think just keep communicating like we do and keep playing together and trusting each other will be just fine.
Skylar, what was said in your pregame speech that you gave? Obviously, you got those guys pretty hyped up.
Basically what I said was just, I mentioned the crowd, the fans. I was like, look around, like, be grateful and be blessed because, like, we're not going to get this back. And when the clock hits 0, the game's over. We can't get that game back, but we got more coming. But just to keep everybody grounded and just be grateful in the moment because one day football is going to be over for all of us. So as long as we stay grounded, be grateful for what's in front of us, that's what I had to keep them to understand.
And then Terrence, obviously this is a very fast-paced offense. How did you feel like you played in it? Obviously 2 touchdowns, but just overall, how did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it a lot, actually. The fast pace, look, he got to me a little bit. But you got to get used to it. It's part of football. I love the way Coach Leftwich goes out there and just calls the plays. He gets defenses on their toes. As y'all can see, I mean, UAPB really couldn't get set up with all how quick we were running the ball and just getting passes out there. So,
Terrence, I guess the touchdown you had, the diving one, I guess it seemed like a pretty tight window Barron put that ball into. So were you expecting that one, or I guess just kind of walk us through that play?
I mean, you got to expect every pass to come to you like they all are. It was just a great pass from Barron. Playmakers make plays. So that's how I look at it.
And I know he's talking about how fast the offense was moving, but for you guys, I guess when they're scoring so quick and you're just, you make a stop and then you're right back on the field, I guess how did you feel like y'all handled just the tempo of having to get back out there so quickly?
We handled it extremely well. If you take it as this perspective, we go against these guys every day, and we're used to the fast tempo and everything. So when we go out there to a team who doesn't really tempo or anything like that, it's going to be a cakewalk. So, yeah, just practice against our offense has really helped us a lot because they're super fast-paced.
Skylar, of course, you practiced with the defensive front since the spring. How much does it help, or what's it like being an interior guy with the pressure coming from as much pressure coming from the edges as your edges were getting?
I mean, it's amazing. We have Romello and David Bailey out there, and when you're rushing from a three-tech, knowing you have those guys rushing the edge, you can be a little more loose in what you're doing. Like, sometimes you have to counter back into the A-gap because the DN might just run right by him. But when I have Romello next to me, I can win in the B-gap and still expect the quarterback to step up through that gap. And that's what happened today. So it's amazing playing with those guys because now we're able to just play off each other, trust each other, and move along with each other and just get to the QB.
This is for the both of you guys. Obviously, there's been a lot of hype, anticipation. How good did it finally just feel to be able to play a game knowing the noise that's been surrounded by you guys this year?
Shoot, I think we're all just embracing the pressure for real. It's really nothing to talk about. Now it's just time to put it all on display. I think we did just that tonight. It's still little things we got to work on, but I think tonight was just a great example of what this team is capable of.
Yeah, putting basically a whole new team together in January. It was just amazing to get out here and play a game. That's why I still have this jersey on. I don't want to take it off because I just love being a Red Raider. But, yeah, it might stink. But it's just amazing to see, how far we came as a team. And, we brought in a lot of new guys. So to get out there in front of 60,000 plus and just show the world what we're proving to ourselves and not what anybody else is expecting of us is just a great feeling.
Skylar, you're going to deal with a lot of dual-threat quarterbacks in this league, and obviously today this guy was kind of having y'all chase pretty often of, just anywhere in that backfield. How do you guys felt like you did? Is there anything you would want to improve in terms of pass rush lane integrity?
Definitely got to improve on contain. I know I missed one today, so definitely got to work more on that. But the QBs we play are going to be fast, but we're fast too as D linemen. So I'm not going to say we're not worried, but as long as we do our job, we'll make the right things happen.
What were the vibes like during the rain delay? I'm curious. Are y'all having fun in there? Is it serious?
Yeah, we're just trying to uplift the mood. You know what I'm saying? It was 8:40 something. They're talking about we won't be able to play until 10:15. So we're like, what? But at the same time, everybody's just staying hydrated, staying alert, attentive. We're in there watching the football games that were on. The Tigers versus the Tigers, and everybody just staying locked in. Coach McGuire got us up before we went out there, told us what it was, and we went out there and did what we needed to do.
Had either of y'all ever been in a rain delay before?
Yeah.
Not since high school.
This one was pretty long.
All right, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Y'all have a great night.